Boom, good morning, y'all. So today, myself and Lana, and I'll speak for all the other RawKin RadStars, want to welcome two of our newest RawKin RadStars into the group, Marsha and Kimberly. I love it when I come across our member introductions. We try to tag lots of ninjas all around the world to ninja flip into the group for 30 days and tell their story, day 1, day 2, day 3. And it really gives them a platform to share who they are, what they believe in, what they're about, who they love, what they're going through, and inspire through inspired living. And so I just want to recognize them and read their story and just comment on it and offer them support as well. Lana just went to the yoga studio. I do have a lot of going on. First off, y'all, we almost have 10,000 RawKin RadStars on the Facebook page, which is really, really cool. And if you all could give us some reviews, it really, really helps us. I think we have 56 reviews now. So all you do is go here, boom, and then you hit the review tab right there, review. And then you can just give us a review. So thank you very much for that. This is my breakfast, hiya, boom. This is yesterday's smoothie, but I just added, I think, 7 bananas in it. I try to consume one of these every single day. If I don't, I'll just add into it the next day. Like I'll throw in like 3 pears, add some extra cacao, more hemp seeds. Yesterday, I used, I think about 4 or 5 beet leaves from Lana's dad. Those were really dirty, but they were delicious. And so, and if it's too thick, sometimes like if I run out of bad bananas or whatnot and it just becomes too thick, I'll try to make a mousse out of it or a yogurt, and I'll use it as a topping, as a little what snack in the evening. So this has a couple pears in it, some bananas, hemp seeds, cacao, it has flaxseed, whole bunch of stuff, y'all. Boom. So I think I got a really good texture today. Ooh, yeah. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I am pretty hungry this morning too. Boom. All right, so let's go, y'all. Hi, Julie, good morning. So today, our first RawKin RadStar is Kimberly, and I believe she's made 2 posts. I'm just gonna read the first one. So she writes, and this was 12 hours ago, okay? So she goes, "Hi guys, I'm in need of some advice. I spent an hour on the phone with my son's girlfriend today. Her best friend has started down the wrong path and has started smoking crystal meth. She has asked me if I would talk to her. To give a little more background on me, I am a person that doesn't let someone make excuses for what they do. I tell it like it is, no matter how the other person feels about it. I want to be there for my son's girlfriend, but I worry that sometimes I can be really hard on someone that I'd hitting themselves." Don't know what that means. "I have been an addict and have been clean for 15 years. And I know that needs to be done, and I know what needs to be done to get clean, but you have to want to get clean to be clean." She says, "I'm afraid that her friend doesn't want to be clean. Please help. Should I help or just leave it? I really want to help. I just don't want to make the situation worse." That's a great post. And look so there's 8 comments below, and I'll read those comments. So other RawKin RadStars ninjas are offering love and support. So Jeanette writes, I think you should talk to her. Tough love. Maybe your experience will open her ears." So I'm definitely gonna like that. I'm gonna put agreed. Boom. I'm an addict myself. I'm still an addict. I've been sober, I think, for 29 months. But almost every time I try to stop using or stop gambling or stop having sex with a bunch of women that I didn't know, or stop, doing ecstasy, smoking meth, all of that. I smoked meth when I was 14. I always wanted to stop. So for me, it's not that I didn't want to stop. For me, the big percentage of who I was hanging out with, who was my circle of friends, you know, what was I doing and who was I with? The majority of the time, what I was doing is toxic behaviors and toxic activities, but I was surrounding myself, but people were doing the same thing. So it's not that I didn't want to quit. I still wanted to quit, you know, but you need kind of, you know, you need some, you know, a good, not a role model, but you need some homies, you need some girlfriends or some guy friends that are walking a better path, a less non-toxic, a less toxic path. And, you know, I quit drinking and doing drugs just cold, y'all, by myself, actually. But I don't think I wanted to stop more than all the other times. I just think, you know, the timing is right. Maybe I did, maybe I just had enough of me. Maybe I didn't like waking up in the jail cell all the time. I didn't like being embarrassed and saying things that I didn't mean, didn't even know that I said in the morning and being embarrassed, waking up with, you know, women that I didn't even know and I had sex with them. So maybe it was just too much and decades of saying, look, I've had enough. I don't know, you know, I know North Dakota, so my environment was much healthier in North Dakota. I didn't have any of those old school riffraff or those toxic girlfriends or those toxic environments. So, you know, to answer your question, Kimberly, tough love is good. I've had tough love. I think I've given tough love, but I think we're only tapped out on what we're going to let in our ears. We might want to stop quitting. We might want to stop, you know, hurting ourselves. But addiction is addiction. You know, dopamine is dopamine. You know, getting your next hit, getting that next, you know, Tinder swiping right, that next, you know, makeout session, that next having sex with a one-night stand, that next pull of the slot, you know, it's an addiction. And so tough love can work, you know, but then ease and grace can work as well. And I guess that goes full circle. Like, is the person ready? If the person's not ready, then whatever you share with them, whatever love that you're spreading to them, it might just ricochet right off. So Jeanette says tough love. Randall, I don't know who you are. I'm gonna like your comment. She says, tell her how bad the world of addiction can be. That's true. So you can educate through personal experience what you've seen. If you've been in the slums, if you've been homeless, if you've lost all your money, gone broke, just waiting for that last hit, you know, inspire through inspire living. Leela says, tough one. Does your son's girlfriend know why her friend had started using? If she's doing it to mask pain, your experience and support could definitely help. Boom. I love that. Great advice, Leela. Great advice. Leela, boom. I love you, Leela. Thanks for showing up. Boom. I want to read that again. If she's doing it to mask pain, your experience and support can definitely help. I think we're all masking pain. Even the people, the ninjas that are levitating and meditating and pissing glitter and smelling like peaches, I think they're still masking pain. I really do. If you really think about your thoughts and how you react or how you don't react, and your motives or non-motives or why you do what you do, you know, from, you know, old pain to present pain to possibly anxiety of future pain, I think we're all trying to mask pain. And that's why I think a key element to this right here is to harvest self-love. If you're harvesting self-love and your gallbladder needs to be taken out because you're drinking too much, or you have cirrhosis of the liver because you're drinking too much, right? Or you have nosebleeds because you're putting too much booger sugar up your nose, right? That self-love is like, yo, why am I doing that to my nose? Yo, why am I having these cramps? Why is it hard for me to urinate? The self-love, you know, is body love too. So self-love is the superpower. I honestly think self-love is the key to everything. Thank you, Leela, for that comment. She also writes, if she's doing it to just have fun, as I'm sure you know, she won't be in a place where she's ready to listen. But it will still be good for her to know where to find you when she is. Boom, that's right. So if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you know, and offer that tough love, you know, or that sweet love and just let it be, you know, that person, if and when they are ready, they will know where to find you, where to contact you and say, hey, that person was really, really cool and understanding, you know, when I was smoking that bowl on the curb, you know? So then, you know, they will recognize, they'll have in their little digital Rolodex of these ninjas that offered help when they weren't ready, because you did speak up and you did show up. So thank you, Leela, for showing up this morning. Dee Dee writes, it doesn't matter if you talk to her or not. She won't quit until she wants to. I have been clean for 4 years, February 4th, 2019. I was a meth addict for 15 years. My family and I flew from my friends, kept trying to get me to quit, but that only made me want to do it more. I decided to quit on my own without anyone telling me to quit. I didn't even go to rehab for anything. I just quit cold turkey. No help at all, besides God's help. So she's a believer in God. She quit cold turkey. Now, one thing right there, Dee Dee, thank you for showing up. One thing that caught my attention there is that she said when her parents tried to get her to quit, it made her want to even do it more. So for me, a lot of people that are masking pain, maybe they were neglected. Maybe they didn't get any attention from their peers, you know, in elementary, junior high, high school, or their parents, brothers or sisters. So maybe them being the topic of gossip, them being the topic of, oh, is he or she screwing up still, while they're putting needles in their arms, that's the attention that they're seeking because of the pain. So they're getting the attention that they're seeking through drug use, through toxic behaviors. So maybe they're not going to stop because they like that attention. Very, very good point, Dee Dee. Thank you so much. So if you all have not friended, supported, and spread a little digital love to Kimberly, Ninja Flip into the group. She posted that 12 hours ago. Please do so. Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie says, grace and love. Julie, good morning. You all want to see what we got going on for lunch or dinner? So these need a little love on them. Did you all know that peppers, okay, check it out. This is a yellow pepper, yellow bell pepper. This is an orange bell pepper. And then of course you've seen the red ones and green ones. Check this out. This is the rad tip of the day. They're all the same. They're just a different level of ripeness. Isn't that rad? And the different level of ripeness gives their own unique taste, but they're all the same. So I have these. They need a little love because they're getting a little wilted like they were in the ocean for 69 years. And then I have this beautiful purple onion. Boom. And then Miss Lana, she's so much fun. She played with me this morning and woke me up, and she shoved this thing in my mouth when I was sleeping, right? And Lana's dad mentioned these, and so I asked her to see if she could find them on sale yesterday. Unfortunately, they were not on sale, but she did get them. And she stuck one in my mouth, waking me up this morning. And what those are these Beyond Sausage, plant-based sausages, y'all. They're delicious. And so I'm gonna play with that one since it's got my slobber all over it. And I'm gonna prepare those bell peppers with some onions, maybe some mushrooms, and we have some gluten-free bread that I might put a little bit of avocado spread on with maybe a little bit of lemon, and have that for lunch. Taste that, and then we have 3 more, and because her father mentioned it, we found a really, really cool plant-based restaurant in Tampa that her dad absolutely loves. We haven't been able to take Lana there, and he had the Beyond Burger, and I told him about these sausages, and so next time he comes over, we'll prepare those for him. These are the Beyond Meat, Beyond Burgers, y'all. Check this out. They're coming out with a new recipe, I think, in like 2 weeks. It's like Beyond Burger 2.0. So it's the same great flavors, the same textures, but they're releasing a completely different recipe, and they're saying it's gonna be juicier, thicker, and more like real meat. So I want to show you all those. Hi, Carla, morning. Okay, so thank you, Kimberly, for showing up. I don't know how you ninja flipped into our group. I might have found you. One of our RawKin RadStars found you. But I respect you and I love you for showing up and telling your story and being vulnerable. I have tried to explain to so many people what this group is about, what this group is doing, where this group is going. And I've tried a bunch of different flavors, a bunch of different deliveries through media, through text, through humor, through memes, through heartache, through depression, through anxiety, for me showing up, through videos, through video lives, through Instagram, YouTube. And it's all in here. It's all in my mind. And Kimberly, you showing up today is what I have been visioning all the way from Optimal Reset 5 years ago. So you showing up today is really just harvesting this idea, this creativity that I've been, bouncing around in my mind, all the way through my divorces, through my travels, through my addictions. I've always wanted this optimal reset, a community where people can feel safe, and it's not non-judgment. They can feel safe and they can be their true authentic self, and they can share their stories about themselves or the pain that they're going through, either if it's financial success, if it's a medical diagnosis, a death of a loved one, even if you have a fundraiser. I've really been trying to help out ninjas with fundraisers. They take me about a week a piece, y'all, to do. And I'm telling you, I put in probably 20 hours on each fundraiser. We've actually raised for Angelina close to $500 in the last 2 days. We raised, I believe, close to $300 for Cheryl. And here's some rad news. Cheryl is actually going to, I think, pass it forward, or whatever that word is, keep it forward. We like to keep it raw, stay rad here. I think it's pass it forward, but basically the money that we raised for her kitten, her cat, she's actually going to donate to Angelina. So that means Angelina, we've raised over $800 for you and your family. She had a tumor removed from her head. So when you all show up, it inspires me, because I truly believe that this group is for everyone. And I see the signals, I have the conversations with you all, I see the comments, I see the posts, I see everything, I see all the algorithms, and I know it's very, very powerful, and this group is very healing, it's very motivational, and it's very inspiring. I've made a lot of mistakes, I've taken a lot of risks. I don't regret any of them. This social media changes all the time, and so I have to try new things even if I fail. But the more that you all interact, the more that you share your story, and the more that you put in the comment section, like Jeanette did, like Randall did, like Leela did. Those were 3 different perspectives on her question, is that should she reach out and offer support, right, to her son's girlfriend, right? Keep in mind, this is a private group, so she didn't have to go ask another friend that might have knew her girlfriend, her boyfriend's girlfriend. You know what I mean? She didn't have to go ask, someone in her hometown. She asked the world. You know what I'm saying? And it was free. She went and asked the world something that was on her mind. She wanted to be of service, but she didn't want to cross the line. She didn't know if tough love was too much. She didn't know. So now she has ninjas all around the world through their personal experience offering that support. In my opinion, I think that is one of the most valuable things, the most valuable platform that can help a human being help another person, is this group. And I truly believe once we have 5 million RawKin RadStars in this group, it's like my job will be done on this social media. Like, I will be like, okay, optimal reset / Radiculously Rawthentic. My job is done, because then you all are the content creators. You all are the ones that are serving. You all are serving now, but you all will see what it's about. I won't have to try to explain and do this and try this and try this. You all will create it. You all will harvest it. You all will nurture this platform. And Lana has been a tremendous help to me and thousands of other ninjas. Lana has given me the ability to try new things. Lana has given me the ability to work on myself and continue to do this. This is not easy, y'all. This is not easy. I've second questioned myself so many times on what am I doing? Is this working? Am I making a fool out of myself? You know, I've lost a lot of my old friends and my family. You know, now I've kind of reignited relationships with my family, and I am happy, and that is a work in progress. So Lana supporting me on the thousands ways that she supports me, I'm forever grateful, because I couldn't do this without her. She has a certain ease and grace and many flavors that I do not have, just like all of you do. All of you have different flavors that can heal the world. All of you have humor. All of you have sympathy, empathy. We all have a different skill set, a different flavor toolbox. And when we all show up for one another, I think we can heal the world. You got to heal the world, make it a better place for you and for Leela, Jeanette, and Kimberly. So, that was for Kimberly, and here's another one. And Lana and I are trying to show up every single day, just like this, between 8 and 10 a.m. every single day on our Facebook page inside the group. Okay, we will never mention any last names in any of this, because remember, this is private, and that's a key flavor, a key element to this group. Now, this is a very long one, and you know what? I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna read this. It's a very, very long one. I'm gonna do my best to read it, okay? She has 8 photos here, y'all. Looks like she has some before and afters. Looks like she has some of when she's a child, and it looks like she has a photo of her mother. So this is a RawKin RadStar, Marsha. I almost read her last name. So she said, please forgive any typos. Kind of fluid writing, I will fix later. So I'll try to do my best to read what Marsha has shared with us. I'm not sure where to begin, so I guess I will start at the beginning and see how far I get. I believe I choose to be born into the family I have. Remember, there's a lot of typos here, so I'm just gonna try to do it as fluid. If it doesn't make as much sense, just kind of guess what it says. It says, I believe I choose to be born into the family I have. I believe that my experiences in my formative year, while out of my control, were also chose. I needed them. They needed me. My birth was 2 years after my sister was born in 1968. So I'm going to make a comment on that real quick. Our RawKin RadStar family in the group are, I believe, 90% women between 32 and 60 years old. So that's a vast variety of human beings that you're going to get personal experiences and stories from. So she was born in 1968. She was born with spina bifida. My Eligmocele hydrocephalus, mild MR, and a host of other related issues caused by this condition. I was born perfect. I was told I looked like the charming baby. The charming baby, I think that's the toilet paper. Sadly, most pics from my childhood have disappeared. That is a whole other part of my story. Both of us have red hair like our mom. That's where the similarities stop. I was born under the shadow of my sister's disabilities. Please don't take that wrong. A child with severe disabilities is a daunting task, an all-consuming task. My sister had issues beyond the physical and was quite challenging. My mom was ill-equipped to take care of us, and my dad worked all of the time. My sister had over 100 surgeries before the age of 12. My earliest memory is when I was 8 to 10 months old. My mom was holding me, carrying my dad on the stairs, carting my sister, who could never walk, even with assistance. My other memories were of hospital rooms, brain surgeries, reactions, saying hi to her through a mirror, pins in her head, literally. At 4, I was taking her in and out of the bathtub. I was helping her cath at 6 or 7. I filled a lot of gaps at a very young age. Sometimes it seems my sister was not there for what seemed forever. Hospital stays and recovery were sometimes long. My parents fought a lot. One time particularly, I remember dragging my sister under the bed to hide. I remember my dad preventing my mom from making a phone call, and lots of screaming. Then it seemed my mother was behind her bedroom door all the time. I'm not sure who took care of me or my sister. I dared not to disturb her, be a nuisance, or when she would make me lay still next to her. If I moved at all, she would scream at me and threaten me. I teased my body, not daring to wiggle my toes. I will drop letters at her door saying I'm sorry, that I loved her. She was always angry. I didn't understand why. The night the hallway light would come on were the worst. I could hear her screaming at my sister. I didn't want to be next. I knew I would be next, pulling me down the hallway by my hair. I'm not sure if there were really any happy times. I used to lie in bed praying my dad would come home and she would stop. It was always better when my dad came home. Mornings before my school consisted of tears and threat that I would have to stay home with her if I didn't stop crying. I wondered why nobody heard me or heard her. I was defenseless against the onslaught. No one liked me in school. I maybe had 1 or 2 friends. I came home crying often. I was also notoriously tended to loose things, still do, haha. One time I lost my hat and mittens. She accused in anger with malice, spitting in my face as she talked of giving them away to someone like my friend. Even my own mother thought so little of me. I was broken and hurt in ways too numerous to detail here right now. Well, that was my mom, and seemed to be mostly absent dad. My mom served my dad in divorce papers 1980, after I spent the summer of 1979 with her parents in Houston. My Nona celebrated my birthday by asking what was my least favorite type of cake and buying it for me. Guess to help me not get fat. I was a bit overweight, but not horrible. Then she screamed at me for 2 hours about if I chose my dad, she would disown me. I didn't know they were divorcing. I was terrified of her. I cried and cried because I honestly did not understand what was going on and why she was screaming at me. It was the summer of 1980 in Arkansas with my grandparents that I was asked a lot of funny questions by my grandmother. I think maybe my dad was served before I went there. This time period is pretty muddled for me. I do remember my dad sitting in the bedroom, elbows on his arms. A defeated man. The plans had started to take action. I was afraid to tell him I loved him. Mom and Nona could hear. I was afraid my mom and Nona would hear. He was so sad. My sister and I were used as pawns to do something horrible to my dad. He was accused of something he did not do and was manipulated, intimidated, and brainwashed over 2 years prior to help make this happen. The next step was to get rid of my sister. I remember standing in my sister's door to her bedroom with my mom. She told me to look at her, how crazy she looked in the moonlight, staring out the window. She told me to hide all the knives, forks, and sharp objects in the house. Told me my sister planned on killing us, then herself. Saw Dad convinced her to do it. I was terrified. I had awakened imaginings of my still crawling after me trying to kill me. Not long after that, my sister was put in a psych ward. Now Mom didn't have to take care of her anymore. My parental grandmother intervened with powerful connections and got her out of there into a wonderful school for the disabled. My mother, while happier than I had ever seen her, was unhappy that what she had tried to do was somewhat under. I'll show in also at this time, I learned to make mean whiskey sour for her. I was then 10. I started drinking and smoking at 8. October 31st, 1984, my mother had surgery to remove a tumor from her ovary. It was the size of a grapefruit. I was surrounded by fluid. When they tried to remove it, the tumor ruptured, invading the fluid, spreading the cancer upwards and downwards. She was dying. Somehow, my grandfather kept this from her. She died April 1986. This is where I'm going to pause and breathe and share what I was able to pen out tonight. I apologize if it's been scattered. I will continue my story tomorrow, where I left off here. As I said, I think I chose these experience, lessons, etc. I'm okay. There's so much more. It's feeling a bit daunting right now to continue. I hope this eventually will help someone. There is always hope, just can't see it at this point of my story yet. Thank you for allowing me to share. Namaste. Another key element why I created this group is because there's so much pain and so many similar flavors in his story that there are in my family. And I always hoped, I always had my mother in mind, my sister in mind, my dad in mind, my aunts in mind, all of my old school homies in mind that had stories like this where they could come together and share them. I have to show you these photos that this beautiful RawKin RadStar uploaded with this story. There's one. Here's two. I'm guessing that is her mother or her grandmother. And I'm guessing that's her and her sister. If you all are watching this video, go to the group. Go to the group. Go to the group if you've had a mother pass away. If you had a disabled sister. If you were teased about being overweight or judged being overweight as a little girl. Please. Please, 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 go to this post. It was posted 12 hours ago. Offer her support, y'all. This is what I do all day. I get thousands of messages all day, and I'm not gonna stop giving up. I just need your all's help. I need you all to show up by telling your story and offering support and spreading the love in the comment section, or even reaching out to this beautiful RawKin RadStar in a message and send her a sweet message. Lift her up, help her rise up today. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really, really like this setup. We're gonna continue to do this every single morning. If there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. I love you. Keep it raw, stay rad.